Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Um, let's see. All right, good deal. Good to see a lot of faces. As I mentioned earlier, welcome guys to our session this evening. Super excited to get to share with you. I just kind of recap a little bit about the past 12 months, or rather 10 months of soccer. I hope you are on a road trip. It'll be really cool if you're on a road trip for us to see what's going on in the background, right? But if you're getting ready to go on a road trip, congratulations to you. No road trip planned here just yet. We're still dealing with some soccer stuff, administrative stuff, things having to do with the field. But anyways, super exciting, super exciting stuff. But as we get on and let some more people come on board. I see you guys, Mr. Williams, welcome aboard. We see you there, looking kind of sharp, looking very sharp there with with that outfit. But yeah, I wanted to really quick take a moment to do a bit of a celebration roll. Of course, if you hear your team called out and your team's accomplishments and you want to start clapping, that's completely okay. But I want you to go through a list of accomplishments that we had this past season, because it was the best season we've had thus far. Okay. Not only did we, of course, come up with several more new teams, which is super cool. I mean, we're now our youngest team was players born 2020 and 2021. Can you believe that? That's just amazing. So that's 2020 and 2021's Red and Navy team led by Coach Moses and Coach Lalo, doing an outstanding job. They just finished their first season of structured academy sessions and competing and all that in league. That was just wonderful. Then, of course, there is the 2019 Red team, Red and the Navy team led by Coach Drake. They show strong growth in everything from ball control to tactics, spacing, attacking, defending, learning how to transition, how to go from defending to
Nice.
attacking, how to go from
Super
attacking to
nice.
defending.
I
It was just
agree.
absolutely great to
Yes, sir.
see.
Yes.
Guys, I'm telling you, I have such a pretty good seed as we're on this aboard this huge train called soccer, youth soccer. Then there's, of course, guys, give it up for the 2018's Red and Navy, led by Coach Alex and and really all the assistants. This is the national team of Soccer Mavericks. This little team here, or this team of these kids, man, they have had so much support, but you can see it in how their season ended. I mean, they made major progress in confidence, competitiveness, game understanding. 2018, they went all the way to the Houston Cup final. They ended up two or second, but they showed great improvements. They having to deal with stronger competition, and they ended the last game. They lost it 3-2 after previously losing heavily to the same team. I believe, I don't know if it was either the same spring season or all the fall season. So that was great improvement, super fun. Then, of course, is the 2017 Red and Navy. Congratulations, guys. This is the teams of two teams led by Coach Pam and Coach Drake. They improved in every area of soccer related, and it's just awesome to see how, I mean, this red team, the spacing, the how they understanding shape on the field, positional roles, and it's just great to see the improvement. I mean, every one of our teams improved this past 10 months. Uh, then, of course, the 2015 and 2016 Red. Congratulations to you guys, led by General Coach Luca, playing outstanding soccer. And of course, so this season was a little tough. They went up several divisions, maybe a little too high of a division for them just yet, as they're learning how to play the game at this more competitive levels. It just becomes increasingly tougher for you to do things that you're barely coming into as knowledge wise. But I am happy to announce that in the fall they won both the league, so they were league champions, and they were champions of the Level Up Cup. So congratulations to you guys. You had an outstanding year by all means. Then there is the 2014 team. Congratulations, led by Coach Jorge. Yes, you bunch of rowdy folks. I saw your pictures, and man, I'm so excited because you showed resilience, and after a very in the fall, they had they had a good season. They beat everybody. I mean, it was great. But in the spring, they got their teeth kicked
Just for
in
you. You chill.
several times. Like, I mean, most of the season was just loss after loss after loss. This is again a team that went up several divisions and they had they lost one or two players that were key to their success in the previous season, yet they rebounded beautifully. They went and participated in the Houston Cup, and they ended up champions on a victory of 3-1, a decisive victory of a very tough PSG opponent. So congratulations to you all, parents. You deserve it. I know you had an absolute blast. And then there was 2013 and 2013 Red and 2013 Navy. Congratulations to you all. Fantastic season. We've continued developing. I gotta say, I am so proud of Coach Alex and the 2013 Red team that, in spite of having had a couple of their players, they've had major roster changes, but a couple of their players, if you're new to our program, you probably don't know if you're in that team, but they had a couple of their players were promoted to the 2013 Navy team. I mean, these were some of their leaders on that team were promoted to the 2013 Red team. I mean, to 2013 Navy team. So that was tough. And so under Coach
Yes,
Alex's
sir. Yes,
leadership, I'm
sir.
so proud of Coach Alex and the growth he had in the past 12 months to take on a bunch of new players in that 2013 team and lead them to have a successful seasons by all means, and do the same with the 2018 Red and 2018 Navy. I am so proud of this young man. Parents, I'm telling you, you found a really good partner in Coach Alex if your child is in their team and they're being led by him. So congratulations, of course, to my little group, 2013 Navy. Did really good in the past season. And I am surrounded by a bunch of critics. I'm telling you, by all means, this past season in the spring, we won the season again, but we are definitely we're playing way better soccer. And so better things, tougher competition up ahead awaits us, but we're looking forward to it. All right. Let's see. Okay. Then, of course, hey, give it up for the U15 2012s, 2011 teams. I'm so proud of also Coach Matthew, who, one thing is to launch, a new team of 5 and 6 year olders. Not really a big challenge there. Everything is just fun all the time. But when you launch a team of 14, 13, almost 15-year-olds, and you bring them together and you have the season they had, that is a tough thing to do. So again, congratulations to you all. Congratulations, Coach Matthew. You did an outstanding job. You and your group did very well. And then, of course, there's the team that is playing the best soccer program. That's the 2011 Navy, led by Coach Fabian Jr. Say that. But yeah, no. He didn't tell me to say that, but he did say it behind me, and he said that they are playing the best soccer. And I believe it. They are playing absolutely great soccer, definitely leading the way in how our players, our younger players, should be playing like tomorrow. We're super excited about it. Congratulations to this group. Then, of course, we had this our club-wide accomplishments. We launched and grew multiple performance teams. We've talked about that. But then we partnered with the world's #1 technical training system, Corver Soccer. If you want to know why so many of our kids are so good with the ball now, as opposed to a little over a year ago, that's the answer. It is our partnership with Corver. Then let's see, what else did we do? Ooh, our first out of town tournament. Now, it's not only that it was our first out of town tournament, but how it happened. Many of our players were taken or went there without their parents, chaperoned by Coach Matthew, Coach Fabian Jr., and the Carters. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Carter. Appreciate your help. Appreciate all that you did to make that happen. I believe this was an outstanding experience for our players who had never been, outside of our area with their team. And I'm telling you right now, relationships were formed or strengthened while they were out there that will last a lifetime. And man, that is awesome to me. Let's see. What else? Ooh, how can I forget? We begun our partnership with Villarreal CF. That's so awesome because this September, three of our players will be heading to the Madrid Cup. I've already mentioned their names before. They'll be headed to the Madrid Cup. In the Madrid Cup, who goes to play at the Madrid Cup? Like, what's that about? Well, number one, this is played in Spain. And number two, they're going to play this particular cup is exclusively for players under 14 years old. This in Europe is like you're a year or two for most players that age at that level. They're a year or two before they sign a professional contract. So yes, our three players that are going to play in that Madrid Cup, they will be playing with players that a year, 2 years from now are going to sign a professional contract with their particular academies, whoever they're with now. So who's participated in that tournament before? Well, uh, Bayern Munich's Musiala participated in that tournament, just to name a few. Phil Foden of Manchester City also played in that tournament. Can you imagine? Man, I wish something like this had been available to me when I was coming up. It would have been absolutely awesome. So, again, super excited. Okay, so how do we get into some of the rest of the material that I wanted to share with you guys today? Let's see. Okay, let's see. All right, there it is. So what I like to do now is, I want to bring your attention to something I've noticed because, I have, I have so many of these conversations with parents, and I absolutely love it because, you know, sometimes as parents we go through different challenges with our kids, and in my opinion, I'm a believer that God puts people in our path that are a little bit ahead of us, who can share with us how they overcame certain situations. Right now, that doesn't mean you could take exactly how they did it and apply to your situation, but it definitely helps to know that someone has gone ahead of you and they're alive, they're okay, right? So what I wanted to go over is I wanted to empower you. You see, many of you, you're going on road trips or by all means, I know we have the Ball Mastery coming up here June 16th, and so that'll go from June 16th through through July 16th. And by the way, good news, the deadline is not over for like another, I believe, for another week. We can definitely share the link to that here in a little bit. But you're going to be away from soccer for a little while. And so, parents, I wanted to empower you with some information related to some of the stages, some of the cycles that a player goes through. So, please forgive me as I grab, because I prepared some notes for this because you know I have the privilege of being or having been on both sides of what you're getting ready to go through. Now, of course, if your child is 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, you probably well, you've gone through one of the stages, and we'll talk about it in a second. But um, as you get older, things are going to get a little more challenging, and I want to equip you ahead of that. I want to give you some nuggets ahead of that, so that when that time arises, you know how to handle it. You know who to partner up with in order to overcome the challenge, because it's inevitable. It's going to come. And so I told you, through many conversations I have with people, it just seems like here's the same subject. It's like, hey, Coach Fabian, can I talk to you? And it's like, uh-oh, here comes something, right? Yeah, little X, whatever the player's name is, he's going through this and that. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. And then I coached them through it, and it's so cool. Again, I'm not going to mention any names because I didn't ask for permission to do so, but I just think so much of people when they're aware of the things that they don't know. I think we have a tendency to major on everything that we know, and it's like when we're faced with something that we don't know anything about, sometimes we want to play it off as we do, and some things that's not very wise to do. And when it comes to our children, again, also I'm going to share, I'm sharing some things. By the way, I wasn't born knowing these things, but as I mentioned, I went through some of the stages, and I go over it a little bit. I went through some of the stages with my own children, and I went to someone, and they helped me understand what was going on, and I was able to then uh, apply some of the things that they were telling me. And of course, now on the other side, some of you know, of course, Coach Fabian Jr. He had his challenges coming up through soccer. Then there's my daughter Penelope. She, you've met her. She played at the collegiate level, Division One. But man, I vividly remember one time thinking when I think she was probably 14, or she might have been 15. I don't remember, but I thought she was getting ready to quit the game. And, as a parent, not that that is everything, but when you see that your child has some ability to play the game, and at the level she was playing ECNL. She was playing the very top team at her age. I mean, she's playing the National League. This is not a low level team. And so I was a little concerned. I was a little concerned. I sought some help, prayer, and we not only did we pray, but we did the things that we needed to do in the natural, the practical things, and we looks like we made it through. And and again, it paid off into a collegiate uh, scholarship and all that stuff. Uh, so let's talk about the stages. So stage number one is, of course, you guys know it's the fun stage, right? And in the fun stage, kids learn through fun. So of course, all of you guys remember you brought your kid for the very first time to a soccer session, to some sort of, I don't know, whether it be a park or a club or I don't know, soccer shots or whatever. And because you wanted them to be active. Some of you wanted them to be active. Some of you were like, you know what, I grew up playing the game, I wanted them to play. And then you realize, oh my God, they had a good time, they liked it. And so it's like, boom, here we go, right? Super fun. They're gonna play soccer now. We rush up, we go to in my time, we go to academy and buy the cleats and the shin guards and all this stuff, right? And you got all their gear, right? Because they're gonna play soccer. And yes, my dream, right? My firstborn, let's go. Um, Oh, and I was the coach when it came to Fabian Jr., so I was like super stoked. I was a volunteer over there at the YMCA. And so, yeah, we were going to win the Champions League, right? We were going to win it all. So, yeah, so the first stage is a player goes through is the fun stage. Now, we have in our notes here that this usually between 5 and 8 years old, but the reality is, even if they start a little later, or a little earlier, the first thing is going to be, is it fun? That's the question they have in their mind. Then, of course, when they start learning a little bit, then we go from fun to, now, wait a minute. What's up with this guy? This guy just beat me. This guy just scored on me. He juked me, right? And so now they start asking the question of, wait, well, am I as good as? Do I measure up? I'm sure you've already witnessed or of noticed this. that players begin to compare themselves to either the teammates or their opponents. That's here's where things begin to get a little tough, right? All right. When does this happen? Well, again, this is 8 to 12 years old, but I'm telling you, some of our players, we have players in our program as young as 7 years old that they're already in this mindset, and it's not this is not a bad mindset. This is a competitor in the making, and so that's why they're asking these questions. Then there is, of course, the challenge. The challenge is when players face, more intense training. Now there's, coaches correcting me. Uh, the opponent is stronger or uh, taller, faster. And so now is the time to develop resilience. This is because this is where the questions such as, can I overcome this? I mean, am I really, am I going to get on the other side of things? Because I want to go back to having fun. Um, can I compete under pressure? Like all these things are going through your mind. Um, then 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 sends you over to the next one. So again, as you're thinking about this, I don't know if this is as I showed you earlier, is it a cycle, is it a stage, but it just goes from one thing to the next. And the very next one is your identity. This is where soccer becomes more than an activity. It starts shaping how players see themselves. I'm a soccer player, and you know that identity begins to govern their life.
Yes.
I Soccer players don't eat that, so I won't eat it. Soccer players don't drink that, so I'm not going to drink it. Soccer players do this, soccer players do that. So as you become a soccer player in your mind, not a professional player, which by the way we can talk about that at a later time, a soccer player is a soccer player, whether they write you a check or not. It's your love for the game that makes you a player. As a matter of fact, I read an article that said that when you identify as an athlete, you even carry a particular body mass or sorry, uh, a percentage of your muscle is due
Yes.
to what you think of yourself as, which is I thought that was pretty interesting. But so yes, at the identity stage, you start asking yourself questions. Am I really a soccer player? Am I a competitor? Do I belong at this level? Where am I at? Right? And then that then sends us into, okay, this is getting a little tough. I want to experience joy. But joy is deeper than fun. Joy is produced by achievement, growth, belonging, and earned confidence. So, again, always asking all these deep questions. And I'm telling you this because, you know, when parents, when your child is going through some of these challenges, how we as parents respond is crucial. And guys, I see some of my players on here. Take note of this, okay? You're now, if you look at this circle here, and you look at different stages, I know you can relate to it because here I am. I'm 49 years old. I still like playing, and I still look at the stages and I go, yeah, or oh my God, Of course, I'm in a way different chapter of my life than you guys are, but I still, in my mind, think of myself as a player. Thus, I can relate to these different stages because inevitably, the what
Yes.
happens
Yes.
over time, these stages they evolve, and so fun evolves into something. It's no longer just oh my God, it's round and it makes me laugh, and oh look, I can kick it and it moves. It's no longer that. Fun changes a little bit. Now fun is I compete. Fun is I win. So fun it's not that it stops being fun. It's just the fun changes. It evolves. I want you to keep that in mind. But inevitably, there is the other side of things. See, as time goes by, you know, fun then all of a sudden can go into pressure. And when fun goes into pressure, now we have a challenge because, okay, how do I get back to?
We like challenges.
And so what happens is most parents, when they see their child, with pressure, most parents here are the wrong moves that most parents make. They see their child with pressure, they want to push them harder. Then comparison, because they compare themselves to other people, in my opinion, unfairly, because it's like, okay, this player is, I don't know, taller than you. Why are you comparing yourselves to them? Are you going to make yourself taller by comparing yourself? I don't think so. So to me, that's an unfair comparison. So then when I compare myself and I don't handle it properly, you know, and then the parent back response to it is, without asking probing questions, well, why don't you play like so and so? More comparison. So then that comparison, now I go into the competition aspect. And when I compete and I'm not doing well, then that turns into discouragement. And then here comes the well-intended parent, you know, coming to the rescue or to criticize. You can't do both. You got to figure out what to do. But I'm going to give it to you here in a little bit. Because then there's the other cycle on the identity part. Remember that they were comparing? Well, on their identity piece, the identity inevitably, many times, turns into shame.
That will get
I
way
should be
worse than
doing
that.
this.
This motor
I
was
should be
replaced
doing
already.
that. And so, the young player feels bad because of all the things they're not doing. And then there's the joy piece. What does joy turn into? Well, it used to be super fun. Now I'm just burnt out. And what does a parent do? Panic. I did. I didn't realize that my daughter was just burnt out. I mean, we were traveling all over the country. Uh, I think it felt like we traveled every month, but come to think about it, I think it was only like I think we traveled, I don't know if it was every 6 weeks or I don't remember exactly, but we traveled quite a bit. And so it got to a point where, she was just burnt out. And I panicked. I thought, oh my gosh, she wants to quit, because we've invested all this time and all this money into this whole soccer thing. And now, you mean it's not going to pay off. So I panicked. But as I told you earlier, I saw some help. So the better response, instead of you pushing harder, how about we reconnect effort with joy? Why don't let's lead our player to remember how much fun or why they fell in love with the game to begin with. And so we got to help them reconnect. Instead of comparing them with other players, don't ever do that. Parents, please, don't do that. Don't compare your child with another player. Don't do that.
10-4, 10-4.
I caution you against that. Instead of doing that, why don't we just focus on personal growth? Why don't we focus on what can they do on a personal level? Why don't we say, look, let's compare you to last season and let's seek to beat your own results from last season, this season. When you see them discouraged, help them to learn through challenges.
Yes.
If they're feeling shame, I want you to separate their worth from their results and reaffirm it and just tell them, look, I don't care how this game ends. You're still immensely valuable to me. Kids need to be reinforced because, man, I can't believe I'm sharing this. Guys, when I was like in my, I don't know, late 20s, is when I realized that, yeah, the soccer thing had been over. And so here I was, all my life I identified as a soccer player, which that wasn't inherently wrong, but okay, now I have a family. Like, okay, you need to, you can't be out there playing several, I was playing in a couple of teams and I would play several games on the weekends. And now it's like, oh, no, 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 no. So my point with that is that this identity thing, I have to give it its place. And so got to be really careful with that. If they're burnt out, it's time to listen to them, and it's time to restore healthy motivations. It's time to, um, I used to take this summer time, this summer months to help them reconnect with themselves. And so, I don't know how you feel about this, but it just works. We put together vision boards. We'll go to the half price bookstore, and I'll spend 30-40 bucks on a stack of magazines. We would go in there and I just say, okay, guys, we're gonna make vision boards. I want everybody to go in there and just grab magazines that have pictures of all these different things that you would like to accomplish, in the next few years. And that time away from the field, away from competition, was my time to help them restore healthy motivations. And so we would put together a poster and cut pictures from the magazines. And in our case, we would use scripture, biblical scriptures, those are the things that we use to motivate our children, and because they were made on the promises of the God we believe in. And man, so we would go through that exercise, and I don't know, it would just recharge our batteries. That was absolutely awesome. So, what we have to do is now let me give you more of a solution. So one is, we need to turn pressure into purpose. Insecurity, we need to turn that into confidence. Okay, we need to reaffirm our players. Confidence is built through progress, repetition, and small wins. Guys, small wins. I've mentioned, and again, guys, I'm telling you this because I've had so many conversations around the subject, and I'm like, man, we need to empower our parents with some of this information. There is a book called The Gap and the Gain. The Gap and the Gain, and it is by a gentleman named Dr. Hardy, and I don't have the book anywhere close to me right now. It would have been pretty cool. But anyways, this book, the premise of the entire book is that when you compare yourself to some ideal in the future, you're going to find a huge gap between where you are and what you haven't done. Huge gap. But when you compare yourself to where you were, say, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, you inevitably going to find a gain. You're going to realize, oh my God, I've gotten better. I have improved here. I have improved there. Are you guys with me? And so remember that the gap is realized when I look at an ideal of myself out in the future. It's like, I'm never going to get there. And again, not that you shouldn't strive for being better, but you shouldn't only look at the future. You should also look backwards a little bit and use that as motivation, as a, I guess, reaffirmation that you're going in the right direction, that you are accomplishing things, because that helps. All right, number 3, I need to turn my discouragement into resilience. We should not rescue players from every hard moment, but we also should not leave them alone in it. We got to help them out of these stages that they're in, or I failed to say this earlier, because you probably wonder, you're like, yeah, but my kid's doing okay. I promise you that your kid is either going through one of the rough stages or they're going to go through it. And so I'm wanting to share information with you that can help you overcome. Number four, I want you to, help them turn shame and flip it back, and get out of that and rather lock into who they are, instead of comparing myself instead of looking at the attributes of other players, uh, Jacob de los Santos, I see you there. Instead of comparing myself with other players, instead of looking at their attributes, help them to identify their attributes. What are you what are you naturally good at?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
when you do
I
that, I'm
agree.
telling you, that is powerful. Because these are, most of these are God-given abilities. It's like, hey, look, stop looking at that guy. Let's look. Oh, well, I don't know what I'm really good at. Okay, well, let's go ask your coach because he trusts you. And so that's where that coach and parent relationship is so important, guys. Take the time to, man, I'm telling you, I mean, in hindsight, I just squeezed that relationship, and thank God I was so fortunate. And so are you. We have great coaches. You're in a great organization, I promise you. And so, I will go to the coach and I wasn't asking him to play him or her more. No, no, no. I was asking, hey, what can I do? I can tell what you're telling my daughter, my son to do. What can we do at home to reinforce the idea? Because I want them to put out what you're telling them to do. So how can I help you whenever they're away from the field? Oh man, well, you could do this. I was always I would ask questions like that because coaches like that stuff because coaches realize, oh, okay, they didn't just, the parents are involved. Let me just say it like that. And then we need to go from burnout. We need to turn it back to joy. See, when joy is fading, the solution is not always to quit. Sometimes the player just needs rhythm, they need rest, they need encouragement, and a healthier mindset. You don't have to go to you don't have to go to Hawaii. You could go to Galveston and just, take a few hours to just let them refresh a little bit and just let them have a good time. Sometimes we forget that our kids, they're, they're children. They need, they just need, they might just need a little break. Okay. So, anyways, guys, I wanted to take this time, as I mentioned earlier, to empower you with something that would make a difference. And again, I tell you these things because of like I said it earlier, the many, many conversations I've had with people regarding the subject. But I want to encourage you to make sure to, if you're having a challenge with your player, that your player is going through that you, as a player, again, we're always going through one of these stages, or it's negative aspect of it. And when that happens, you have partners in your coaches, you have a partner in me. Let's come together and look for a way to help your player overcome that. But by all means, um, let's come up with a solution. Okay, guys, I'd like to open it up for questions to see if anyone has a question of any sort. I think it'll be helpful, fun.
Coach.
Still got a little time left on the clock here that we had scheduled to have this meeting, and so yes, I'd like to take the next few minutes to answer questions anyone may have. Usually, your questions, I promise you, are questions that other people are having, that not that they're afraid to ask, but I don't know. Just sometimes people, they just can't put their thoughts together around questions. So I like to open it up to questions that you guys may have. So you simply, if you raise your hand and you raise your hand, we'll get to your questions. Let's see what we got here. That's what I could hear. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Man, people pretty active on the chat, huh? Okay. Okay.
Coach. Oh,
All right, we're working through some technical stuff here. Turn this off. All right. Okay. Any questions or comments? They are welcome.
Coach, can I share something?
Oh, absolutely, son. Go for it.
No, yeah. I think and this obviously you could take anybody could take this one of two ways, but um we can't impress how important it is to be coachable where Coach Senior and I we spent the all day today kind of getting these I can't help but call anything else than but truths together. But like you shared at the beginning, we have the luxury of working with coaching up to 300 players on a weekly basis. And so the only reason these things are so obvious to us are because of how frequently we have these conversations, how frequently we see the kids. Like I threw it in the chat while you were talking earlier about every single player is, or will experience the challenges that come with each stage. Like some kids I've seen as young as 5, 6, 7 years old, where they're past the ball rolling around and the kids running around. And let's keep the questions focused around the Zoom call. We're not gonna. I could send some more information about the boot camp, but the being coachable about. Okay, many kids, many parents are like, "Hey, you're in one of those smooth seasons where it's fun. They're competing, they're growing, they're being challenged. They've embraced being a soccer player, but here, and this is not like speaking some kind of curse so much as, oh, this is the same way right now we're dealing with rain. Either in the near or far future, the rain is coming, and so I can't say more than encourage parents to just be coachable. That if and when the I'm not having fun or such so and so is better than me, when these questions come up, we handle it appropriately, which is, okay, I'm not just gonna let you skip practice because you don't feel like going today. Hey, let's find the solution. Let's connect with the coach, and let's do everything we can. Because I'd be lying if I said every single challenge can be solved, but making sure that the kids are kids. Like they sometimes they just have a difficult time explaining what they're experiencing, but with this information this is the product of years of experiences with kids, with parents, with coaches. Now you guys are equipped. Now you know if and when the question, the challenge comes up, let's handle it appropriately.
Yep. Yeah, great point, Fabian. Thank you. Let's get some of these questions in. Let's go first with Mr. Oh, come on. Marlon and guys, we're only gonna take questions from parents, please. Okay.
Yeah, Coach. I see Mr. Marlin has a question.
All right, Mr. Marlon, go ahead, please.
Sorry, I'm totally a female. I know my name is weird.
That's okay.
Okay,
All right.
so excellent discussions here. I did want to you mentioned that the children can outgrow at different times, of course, because everyone is not going to be on the same level. Do we get like will there be like evaluation of each child that maybe like the coach can say, hey, maybe they need to have more training here or there, so that we know that as parents where our children will need like extra help, or maybe where they're advanced that we can kind of help you guys as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, Fabian, you want to answer
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm having some audio issues.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, well, I'll answer. The question was regarding, do we get some sort of regular evaluation of the player so that parents can do their part, which is an awesome question. I wish more parents asked that question. But yes, we do have evaluations. We make it our effort to get those out on a monthly basis.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for the question. That was great. Okay, hold on. Let's go first with Mr. Williams.
Um, my question's related to again, yeah, great discussion, great topic. I know that the plan is to be competitive, but then also trying to like the key is always for you guys is to develop players, and we know that players develop at different rates.
Yeah.
And so just trying to think as a parent, like how, or at least two things. One is like, how as an organization are we trying to like make competitive teams and then realize that some kids develop a little later, and as your to
Mm.
your point is like, what if this player is, you want your kid to play, but you as a parent can sometimes see that your kid may not be, or they're not improving as quickly as another kid. And I know we want them to play, but as a like we want to also be competitive. So how do you say like, well, how would you suggest having those conversations with your kids regarding like, hey, like, again, like you said, don't compare, like stay in it, like stay focused, because I know some kids tend to be like, well, maybe I'm not good enough, and the reality is it's not. You're still young, you're still developing, so just kind of curious.
Yeah, I think I mean, you know, first know your kid, right? You want to ask him from probing questions, like where's he coming from with this questions, or where's he coming with from with these statements, right? But how do we do it? So, in our case, like when we place teams in the league, like there's no there's no really set uh, uh, division levels where we put teams in and we know exactly who they're playing against. Uh, that's unfortunately, uh, it's open. As teams put their teams in whatever brackets they choose to. There's not a true grading system for individual teams. So uh, I think that knowing what I know now, the best way. So the way we grade our teams uh, is based on the quality of execution of the things that we've been teaching the team. The way we grade the player is based on the same, right? So it comes down to what we do at home, because when we get out there, it could be quite deceiving. I mean, I don't know if I'm playing the best team in the state or the worst team in the state. So if you go out there and you play a team and you beat the stink out of them, you're thinking, whoa, my kid is going to become a pro tomorrow. Or on the other hand, you get your teeth kicked in. So I say keep it, we keep it on the team. We don't really, as much as we want to compete, and we do compete, right? But we're looking at, okay, is our team executing what we're teaching them? When it comes to your son, is he doing what we're teaching them? On a personal level, yes, I believe it's absolutely healthy to ask my child to compete relative to where I believe he is at. I don't want to, because then there's the personality, right? Like I remember, uh, uh, you know, I remember Fabian. I didn't realize that players. I didn't know this back then, but I know now that players have a temperament. And so if you play, you may have a temperament that is best suited for a particular area of the field. So, and so I wanted Fabian to be more aggressive. And then I realized, oh, no, he's not, he doesn't display this aggressiveness because he's a midfielder. He's a thinker. So this guy's thinking. So he's, it's kind of mellow, kind of quiet, right? So it's like, oh, okay, so it helped you. So I guess that is the one thing you want to. I would caution, be careful, with what you say when you mention being more competitive. Is it, what is it? Is it that he's not competing? Because in his mind, he may be competing, but this outward killer language that I want to receive, that's not there. That could be construed as, oh, he's just being passive, and he wasn't being passive. It's just he's a thinker, and so I think that's one thing to that I would caution. Make sure that you're asking for things that your child has, as opposed to something that you've seen in other players or in yourself. Like Fabian and I are completely different competitors. So thank you. Appreciate the question. That was great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Mr. De Los Santos, go ahead, please.
Hey everybody. So I know Fabian, you're familiar with Josiah and Jeremiah and how it took a while for Jeremiah to even want to play soccer, but he let you know when he was
He
ready.
came to the light.
Yeah, he came to the light. And so here's I need some advice because he did so well this first time
Mhm.
and he was playing striker.
Yeah.
And now he wants to play goalie. And got him some goalie gloves, and he's out there and getting some good practice with Josiah, and he's looking good. So I just, I need some direction on. I don't want to discourage him from doing what he has a passion for, but he was doing so good at striking. But I like the fact that he wants to play goalie, and he's
Yeah.
his mindset is I want to stop the goals. I want
Yeah.
to I want
He used to play
to help the
baseball too, huh?
team.
He used to
Yeah,
play
so
baseball, didn't he?
yeah, he used to play baseball a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I leave him alone, man. Just negotiate with him, right? Just, hey, give me a half on the goal, give me a half on the field. Just negotiate with him.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
you she's got athletes at home, and so if he tells you he wants to be goalie, I bet you he'd probably be very good at it. He looks like it. I can tell he's a very dedicated kid, and then he's got the poacher, the brother there, who's also super. I mean, they're just dedicated, and so yeah. I mean, I don't see anything wrong there. You never know. On the other hand, if you got a player like him who is rather, playing with his feet, it comes rather easy. I can tell he hasn't been playing long. Look what he's doing, and so you have. What if goalies today? That's where they start. They play with their feet. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you got maybe there's something there, or maybe again, it's just a time. It's just passing. It's just a thought.
Well, it was a couple of weeks ago. He bought himself he had some birthday money and bought him
Yeah.
some gloves, and then I heard you at one of these ceremonies saying you started off as
I
a
did.
goalie,
I did.
and
I did. No
and,
one,
and
no
so it
one.
reminded me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Again, as long as they're enjoying the game, uh, as long as my kid doesn't tell me they want to be a referee, all is well.
give him a red card.
All right, man. Thank you for your
Okay,
question. I
thank you.
appreciate your participation, man.
Thank
All right. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Mr. Opare, go ahead, please. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. This is Clement Opare. It is that. Coach, thank you for the wonderful presentation and amazing thing that you guys are doing out there. Um, as part of soccer player development that you guys are doing, is there a roadmap for ball mastery in terms of what you want to see from the players, what they need to check out before they move on to the next stage? And also, as part of their development, is there any thing in the roadmap that you are looking for in terms of character-wise? Because you did mention about attitude, behavior, and other stuff. So not just technical, not just playing, but also as part of what you guys are doing. I know everything is included. So what are some of the things that you guys are looking for from them before you graduate them to the next level?
So you mentioned ball mastery. Obviously, we want to, relative to the kids' age, we want to see a level of comfort with the ball. So you just gotta think about it like this, right? So tactics is the plan, right? And then technique is what you use to execute the plan, right? So the plan is I pass you the ball, you pass it to the next guy. Technique is what you do when I pass you the ball. So it's what you're able to do. So what do we do to graduate them? We're looking for a level of proficiency relative to their age. The younger the player is, they usually tend to move through a little faster because they're younger, and because at the younger ages we're still doing quite a bit of technical work during our training sessions. So the younger kids we tend to move them over to the Performance Academy a little earlier than we do older players, because of the obvious. Older players, we take a little, usually it's a little longer of a time, depending. Again, when I say older, I'm thinking older than 9 or 10. Well, maybe 8 or 9. We're a little more hesitant because at that age, I mean, if you look at kids like, I don't know if you guys know who Levi is, it's like, okay, here you are, you're a beginner at 8, 9 years old going against Levi, who is, 6, soon to be 7, but plays like if he was 20 something, right? As players get old, the later a player starts, I guess what I'm saying, the later a player starts, the the tougher it can be to graduate them, immediately out of the ball mastery challenge into the Performance Academy, because again, the older you are, the expectation is that you have a certain technical ability, Coach Opare. So thank you for your question, sir. Much appreciated.
Thank you,
Great
sir.
question. Thank you. Anyone else? These are good questions, guys. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. These are things that, again, other parents are, thinking about, or just wondering about, and we get to answer in a space like this. Thank you all. Ooh, yes, ma'am. Lupita. Hello.
Hi, Coach. This is Orlando and Sebastian's mom.
Ooh, yes, ma'am.
We're looking to see when will rosters be ready
Which rosters?
for the upcoming season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, we'll have those ready soon. I couldn't tell you exactly
Yeah,
what time.
I'd say we'll have preliminary rosters by the end of this month. Part of the challenges we have, I think it's something like 20 to 30 pending invitations from players that tried out and were accepted. And so a couple conversations that need to be had with those parents, and obviously the age change implemented by the U.S. Soccer Federation has made it kind of challenging to see, all right, there are very few players that should be playing up. And so identifying those players and coaching assignments. We have all our coaches returning, just trying to figure out, connecting with them and seeing what's going to be the best fit, considering all these age changes, then all these new players that will be joining us here in the fall. So we're shooting for end of this month to have preliminary rosters out.
Yep. Thank you, ma'am, for the question. Appreciate it. Anyone with questions related to our topic this evening? Ooh, 7 o'clock. I mean, give me some change. I want to go to the movies or something. I don't know. What do normal people do when they don't have soccer practice on a Tuesday evening? I don't know. I have to see. All right.
Coach, I know we had I don't want to open a can for all the, but there's some easy questions like the new kits. I know they're developing them now, and so we have an idea of when the order link will be ready. Obviously, we have I think it's till like mid-September before matches actually start, so plenty of time.
So yeah, we do have plenty of time, but yes, I guess I'll put out an email out and give an update of where we are and as far as production time for our kits. Thank you for that question.
The cost for the fall season, let me connect with you on that because I know we have two different groups of people here. Yeah, some for the Ball Mastery Challenge program and some for the Performance Academy. And then before, I know some people are going to start heading out, older players. So if you were playing with Coach Matthew, Coach Alex, myself, or Coach Senior this past season, we have a very important VRL call tomorrow at this exact same time. We need all the parents, and considering the age, we need all the players on there as well. We'll be talking about some technical things, but a lot more of who all will be considered as we make. Obviously, we're sending a couple guys to Spain here in a couple months, but we're going to be talking a lot more about that. Just for the groups that it applies to, which again is if you were playing with me, Senior, Coach Matthew, or Coach Alex, we will be talking about that tomorrow.
Yes, and again, that's as if you played this past season with Coach Matthew, Coach Fabian Senior, or Coach Fabian Junior exclusively. So those are the only players and parents that would like to, for whom that call is on tomorrow evening. So please, please, please make sure to attend. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I've been wanting to, I hope, if I just have a couple of people that benefited from what we just shared, I'm happy. I've been wanting to have a conversation like this for quite some time. And I have more stuff. Again, I speak from, having been on the side of where you are as a parent and now as a coach, director. I know where you are. Trust me, I went through it. I know what some of you think about, and I know some of the things that you also ignore because again, I'm on this side of it. But I do this. We take this time with great pleasure preparing for it. If I hope this was of help to you. I hope it empowered you to make better decisions, to guide and coach your children on the part that you get to play. Thank you for your participation. Thank you guys for all of your questions. You make this just great, and we will see you guys very, very soon. I already miss you guys, so maybe that's why I wanted to jump on the call. I miss you guys. Yeah, this is fun. So thank you guys. Thank you for participating. Thank you for your questions. I appreciate you all. Without you guys, much of what we do, the privilege we get to work with your children wouldn't be possible for sure. So thank you guys. Have a good evening. We'll see you guys soon.